but not what it looks like.
And we've made sure that there will be no blank cards in this game.
Yeah, okay, so we've got Justice of the Prophecy, Torrential Tribute, another Justice of the Prophecy, a Spellbook of Wisdom, and a Fiendish Chain starting Necro off for this match. For turn 1 play is going to Marcel. Let's see how he decides to start this match out. He's feeling very confident, he tells me. He really wants this.
I do recognise him from an event, and I am just looking now to see if I can find him in any of my records, because he does look familiar. Okay,
the player's just being instructed a little bit about how we're going to get the data. So we're going to see a turn 1 solar recharge coming from Marcel. He'll draw 2 Rainbow Kuriboh. I won't get too excited there. And he's going to send an Eclipse Wyvern and a Light Ray Diablos. This is a really good start for Marcel. He'd have hoped to have probably drawn maybe not 2 Rainbow Kuriboh. But the sending of the Eclipse Wyvern is immediately going to put that Judgment Dragon where he can find it a little bit later. We're going to see a Lumina, Lightsworn Sorceress, coming down. And he's going to discard a card to special summon the Lila. And he's going to end his turn and send 6 cards from his deck to the graveyard. Unfortunately, I didn't catch what the first ones were, but I did see a Minerva there. And that's going to send Forbidden Lance. Yeah, Lumina, Aaron, and Minerva. And Forbidden Lance. And play comes back to Necro. Now, Nicolo's hand is pretty good. He's got multiple Justice of the Prophecy, which will give him a lot of options from his deck, including those very powerful High Priestess of the Prophecies, of which he has one in his hand, actually.
Just a little bit of a background check. I knew that I did recognise him. He was a public event playoff winner at YCS Turin, which was the 125th YCS.
Ah, so he is a proud owner of a giant hand.
Yes, he does own a giant hand.
I don't know if he's playing that that card on his list, but we'll see. Okay, Justice of the Prophecy is declaring an attack on the Lumina. Let's take that out of play. Just I was looking for a pen. Okay, not quite sure what's going on. Okay, they have pens now. So we got a few points of damage coming in from Necro is damaging Marcel.
Now the pen crisis has been averted.
Phoenix Wing Windblast face down on Marcel's field.
Now, it always amazes me with the Lightsworn's ability just to fill up the graveyard that early on in the game.
It's one of those decks that can support the turn 1 Soul Charge. Okay, the Spellbook of Wisdom being activated to allow Justice to be able to use its effect. It shows a real sign of weakness from Necro's start. And it gets Phoenix Wing Windblast will be activated to put Justice of the Prophecy on top of the deck. This causes a lot of problems for Necro because he doesn't have a spellbook next turn to try and activate the Justice of the Prophecy again. And the High Priestess he can't summon, so he'll have access to 2 Justice of the Prophecy, a Fiendish Chain, and a Torrential Tribute. Of course, Marcel's probably not going to be able to push too hard through the Torrential Tribute, but we'll see how these players play this one out. Lila being activated and Fiendish Chain being chained. It's always fun to say lots of things when Fiendish Chain's involved. And chains. When your opponent
chains a Fiendish Chain.
Chains your Fiendish Chain with their Fiendish Chain.
On the Lavalo chain.
Yeah, on the level. Yeah, this has happened before. Okay, we're going to see a direct attack from Curry Bandit, the pirate Kuriboh.
Sure.
And during the end phase, he'll send the top 5 cards of his deck. Well, he'll excavate them, and we'll see what... Oh, it's actually a lot of spells there. Not a lot of... he's got a lot of options on which card he wants to add to his hand. Potentially...
Charge of the Light Brigade. Great for...
He's got a lot of good options there.
Yeah.
I think that's a breakthrough skill on the table. It's the ultimate rare that's throwing me.
It is a breakthrough skill, yes.
Okay, and he adds the Charge of the Light Brigade to his hand. He's probably hoping to send a few more Lightsworn monsters to the graveyard there from that Curry Bandit, but either way, getting that Charge of the Light Brigade is very good for him.
Now, it looks like it's that Rainbow Kuriboh that we can't see there.
Yeah, Necro just drew and passed the turn straight back to Marcel. Shut down by that Phoenix Wing Wind Blast from Marcel. He spotted the weakness in his opponent's play, and he moved to capitalize on that. Charge of the Light Brigade, going to find that Raiden, which is a tuner. You see how thin his deck is. His graveyard is already far bigger than his deck, and he's just checking to see how much more he can afford to use, because he's got that solar recharge in his hand, and he could technically use it, but he runs a real risk of running himself out of cards.
Definitely, which you really don't want to do in the top 4 of a European Championship.
Yeah, you have to be very aware of... oh, we're going to see a Dragon Ruler.
And he has done the solar recharge.
Yeah, very aware of just how much of your deck you're giving up when playing Lightsworn.
Now, what is it that Nicolo's got set face down there?
Necro has a Torrential Tribute and Phoenix Chain.
That could spell doom for Marcel.
Let's see how Marcel plays this. How he's reading the field. He's not seen any attack. Well, he only saw the Phoenix Chain as attack response. Torrential Tribute being used. And Forbidden Lance being chained?
Okay.
Yeah, Forbidden Lance being chained to stop the Torrential Tribute. And we're going to see an XC summon.
There's a Laval Chain.
Laval Chain. Don't worry, guys, that Phoenix Chain is not equipped to the Laval Chain.
So he cannot chain the Phoenix Chain.
It's already
to the summoning of Laval Chain. It has already been chained.
I have to stop the plans. Okay, 3 Judgment Dragons right where Marcel can find them. This might be a... Marcel has the Dragon Rulers.
This may actually be it.
Yeah, he hasn't had his battle phase this turn.
Ooh.
Most of his deck is in the graveyard.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on.
Oh, he's looking because of the Eclipse Wyvern. He doesn't have a final target in his deck, so he has to confirm his opponent doesn't. I don't think Nicolo is too interested. Oh, he's checking the graveyard. Sorry, got confused by graveyard in deck. Sorry.
That's what happens when you're covering a Lightsworn deck there.
Sorry about that, guys. No, there was no additional Eclipse Wyvern. It's actually just a very big graveyard. 2 more cards getting banished, and another Judgment Dragon.
There's an ability to just play 2 more Judgment Dragon. I believe that may be game. I don't even know why Nicolo is just continuing.
Okay, he's making Divine Dragon Felgrand to block a Swift Scarecrow in case Nicolo is maining that. So he's just covering his bases. He just reveals his hand of
nothing.
Nothing he was going to do.
See, that's nice, because one of my pet peeves is not allowing you to win. Just scooping up all of your cards and just after it feels so good to be able to get that final attack off, and it's Nicolo he knows that, and he's just let Marcel do it.
Yeah, the key thing to look there is how Marcel totally capitalized on the limping start that Nicolo had, where he summons the Justice of the Prophecy, activates a Spellbook of Wisdom when there's nothing being activated to threaten the Justice. So it means that he's desperately trying. He didn't start with a Spellbook of Secrets or a Spellbook Magician of the Prophecy. So as soon as Marcel saw that opportunity, he was more than happy to use Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to set Nicolo back an entire turn. And we saw Nicolo just draw and pass to his opponent, and his opponent ultimately fully loaded with Judgment Dragons. We're going to see some how he's going to side deck against Nicolo. He's got in his side deck 2 copies of Max C, a Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, Apprentice Magician, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 Royal Decree, 2 Black Corner Heaven, 2 Needle Ceiling, 2 Rivalry of Warlords.
So we could be seeing different. It really depends. I mean, we've got some Ryko, Mystical Space Typhoon, Malevolent Catastrophe, Breakthrough Skill, Battle Fader, Vanity's Emptiness, Ally of Justice, Cycle Reader, Xyz Universe, and Transmigration Prophecy.
That's for myself. Sorry, I have
Marcel.
Nicolo's deck. I don't know if I got that the right way around. I just read out Nicolo's.
The Lightsworn that's in this side deck probably.
Yeah, was a giveaway, probably.
Because I would be worried if Spellbook was suddenly
Nicolo's that good. He wins playing Prophecy with Lightsworn.
So, yeah.
Some good options here. I mean, the Needle Ceilings are very good against the big boards, big fields that Marcel's likely to summon, and the Rivalry of Warlords will cause problems with all the different types that Lightsworn has. Probably not going to see the Royal Decrees here, but again, I wouldn't like to assume anything. Nicolo's in that seat, not me, so I'm very confident he knows exactly how he's going to play this match out. Marcel starting with the lead though, he must he's feeling pretty confident. That was that was so smooth for him.
Marcel, a very nice guy as well. Yeah, and so is Nicolo.
Yeah, both these
really nice people. Very confident. They couldn't keep those straight faces.
Yeah, it's all the seriousness over. I mean, at the end of the day, both of these players they're going to Rimini. They're representing Europe. So regardless of what the outcome of this match is, I mean, it would be unfortunate to not be able to say I am the European champion, but they're going to the World Championship. So there's another tournament, one more step of the ladder, whereas everybody else will have to wait until next year for the opportunity to get to the World Championships.
Yeah, we have an interesting open hand that looks like
I saw a Raiden there.
Yeah, there was a Raiden in there. I saw a Redox as well in Marcel's hand. We're currently looking at Nicolo's.
Ah, yeah. Well, the cards are loading in, but I see a Raiden, a Lightsworn, Curry Bandit,
Phoenix Wing Windblast,
Redox, and Phoenix Wing Windblast.
And there's the Lance as well.
How is Nicolo going to start his first turn off? This hand is looking perhaps a little bit more promising than the hand he started off with last game. I believe it was Nicolo who lost one round of his feature match because he drew all spellbooks he couldn't play. When we covered that, that was Nicolo,
yes,
wasn't it?
That was Nicolo.
And he still managed to make it all the way to the top 4. Very good spellbook player. And a fantastic shirt as well. I like that. Okay, so he presents his opponent with a couple of options. 4. Spellbook of Secrets going to Nicolo's hand. That's a pretty good result. That's access to any spellbook he wants or needs. Spellbook of Secrets. We've seen this a few times, but I'll just pull that one up for you guys. Okay, so he's got a Justice of the Prophecy. He's going to set face down to the field Black Corner Heaven, Compulsory Evacuation, and Bottomless Trap Hole. And he's going to use the Justice of the Prophecy's effect to add 1 spellbook and a High Priestess of the Prophecy to his hand. It's Spellbook of Fate, a very powerful spellbook.
At the moment, it looks like Nicolo's just got all of the setup he needs.
Yeah, Nicolo is definitely got himself a very good start. Let's see if Marcel can match that on his first turn. It's also a bit scary that he's now facing down 3 face-down cards on his opponent's side of the field. Curry Bandit going to be the first option. And Necro takes a moment to consider that. The Kuriboh Bandit is going to successfully attack Necro directly and get that first damage in for this game, game 2. Kuriboh Bandit being activated. 5 cards flop down. What have we got here? Judgment Dragon, Gareth, Solar Recharge, Jane, and Mystical Space Typhoon. And he's going to choose the Solar Recharge. And he's got a face down, Think Swim, Wind Blast on the field. We saw this card pretty much handing the game to Marcel last time, so it worked the first time.
Rather large noise out there. It's distracting the players.
Yeah, everyone's very excited right now, cheering on their friends. Okay, so I believe that was 3 spellbooks revealed to put the High Priestess of the Prophecy. To summon the High Priestess of the Prophecy. Spellbooks may be banished to target the face down card.
And it's the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
Marcel. Putting that High Priestess back on top of Necro's deck.
And no, he's actually doing one of the back row cards, by the look of it.
Yeah, it actually puts it in a very interesting situation because Necro has the spellbook of secrets in his hand. And if that Prophecy High Priestess goes back on top of his deck, if he plays the spellbook of secrets, it's going to cause
he actually used the compulsory evac device but
to shuffle it away.
So High Priestess properly back in the hand and then put it back out.
Yeah, puts it straight back into play, and it can attack because it's still main phase. Quick scout of the opponent's of Marcel's graveyard. Second High Priestess. This time it's Necro seeing the weak start and decides to.
And if this goes the way that it's planned, then it's probably going to be a win this turn.
Still quite a. I'm not sure he has quite enough damage.
Well, he has 5,500 on the field currently. Spellbook of Power, about 6,500. I do believe that's how Spellbook of Power works there.
Yeah. Marcel, yeah, you're right. Marcel still has more than enough life points to play around with. But he also has, Necro also has a couple of defensive cards to hinder Marcel's getting back to game. So he's going to force him into a position where he has to react. He can't play, he's not going to be able to play passively. Oh, the Spellbook of Secrets is getting Spellbook of Wisdom, a card we've seen a few times. Very versatile card. Spellbook Magician, first attack.
Oh, do we have anything in your graveyard to stop that? No.
No, not this time. High Priestess of Prophecy, coming in for 2,500 points of damage. And the second one.
5,500 in total there. A massive hit.
That's a huge hit. If Marcel decides to play Soul Charge, he gives up his battle phase for a maximum of 2 monsters. He doesn't have it, but let's see how Marcel decides to play. Necro, still, look at those cards he has. Wow. He's got the Grand Spellbook Tower and the Spellbook of Fate going. He commits everything to the field. He's planning to win this game next turn, most likely. Solar Recharge, discarding Raiden. 2 cards are drawn. And 2 cards are sent to the graveyard.
Tempest is in hand now, so...
As threatening as this back row looks like for Necro, Marcel's going to be forced to act here. Those High Priestesses can take out 2 of his cards next turn. And either one of those Priestesses landing a single direct attack will be enough to close this game out.
Definitely.
So Marcel just has to figure out what spells and traps his opponent has. Well, figure out if he can, if there is one way he can play around this, or if he just has to play as if his opponent doesn't have them. If he doesn't act, he's going to lose. So you see a Raiden. Raiden is summoned.
What's Raiden's attack?
I will. Raiden has 1700 attack, and you can send 2 cards to the graveyard with his effect. If either of them are a Lightsworn card, he gains 200 attack.
Right. Is that a quick effect?
No. That's just a normal spell speed 1 effect.
Right. It's just that there is a bottomless trap hole.
Oh, yeah, we'll see how
And he
Nicola...
didn't activate it.
He lets him. Nicolay's very confident. He's trying to give Marcel full sense of security. He knows that Raiden does not threaten either of those High Priestesses.
Now, can we just take a look at what Nicolo's got face down at the moment?
Everything.
Now, he has a Black Corn of Heaven and a bottomless trap hole, but there is a Forbidden Lance in hand there, so a Judgment Dragon is probably going to come down at this point. I don't know if he has the...
If he can get to one.
I think he can with the...
Yeah, the Eclipse Wyvern.
Yeah.
See,
Redux.
In response, yeah, we're probably going to see a big chain here. Okay. Judgment Dragon. Does he have 4 Lightsworn in the graveyard?
I think he has 5.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he can always tribute summon and put Raiden in the graveyard there for something. Probably the Tempest. Can Tempest be normal summon?
You can tribute 2 monsters to summon Tempest. No one ever does, though.
No. Oh, he's synchro summoning. That also is the option there. Now,
Star
is
Eater.
that Star Eater? Wow.
Okay.
Now, can we bring up Star Eater's effect?
Yeah, we haven't seen this all weekend. As I said, it's a dragon eating the sun.
Cannot be negated, cannot be activated. Wow. Okay. That's one nasty card.
Okay.
It's a big wall.
It is very big.
Uh,
But I don't think Nicola is worried at all by this. Mystical Space Typhoon being played.
Straight blind. And what does he hit there?
I think that was...
The bottomless.
Possibly, I can't remember which order he's been playing his cards on. Yeah, it's the Bottomless Trap Hole, which he couldn't use to the summon of the Star Eater. It sounds so ominous.
It does. And I think here's going a couple of Judgment Dragons. He's just checking there if he can.
It's...
First one.
He's going for this.
He's just checking himself if he can do that.
Taking the Bottomless Trap Hole, it works in his favour, but Nicola still has Black Corn of Heaven as a possible response to this. Yep, Black Corn of Heaven's going to stop the Judgment Dragon.
The first one. There is another one in hand, I do believe.
Now I've got a Tempest, a Lila, and a Forbidden Lance.
Ah, right. Would the Forbidden Lance have not saved Judgment Dragon?
The issue here is the summon of Judgment Dragon was negated. It was never actually on the field for him to use the Forbidden Lance.
Shame he didn't hit that instead of the bottom of the trap hole there, though.
Yeah, in which case he would have been able to get around that.
Tempest now hitting the field.
Tempest being summoned? Tempest only with 2,400 attack points there, though. A card that's not going to threaten either of those High Priestesses.
But we'll definitely take out the Magician.
I'll give credit to Marcel. He is finding any way he can get onto this table, get onto this field.
And a Star Eater is definitely a good way to do it.
That's commitment. He's gone there for the Star Eater because he knows how much he needs to... he needs to get those High Priestesses off the game, well, into the graveyard and away from his life points.
Now, I'm right in saying that he can't actually stop this attack.
From Star Eater, there's a couple of ways he can play around that. We'll see if Nicolo... Yep. He's going to banish the Star Eater before he gets to... I believe it's before he gets to the battle phase, or before it attacks.
Okay, but that will not stop it, I do believe. Simply because he does have the... no, he's
Oh,
flipping it face down.
He's turning it face down. Ah, okay, he doesn't have enough spellbooks to
banish it.
to take it out. And yeah, Marcel's going to pick up his cards. No way of... He sees defeat on Nicolo's next turn.
So game 1, Marcel, very good. Lots of cards in his favour. Nicolo, game 2, lots of cards in his favour. It's just been a back and forth, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Nicolo, he got a very good start there. He had a lot of spell and traps that could interfere with his opponent's plays, and Marcel ended up getting so low early on that he was in a position where he has to just try and like dredge through all those trap cards, and there was more trap cards than he had ways of threatening either of those High Priestesses, and it was in the end too much for him.
Definitely.
So game 2 going to Nicolo.
They're just doing a little bit of a side decking again.
See what happens. I believe they're discussing the various different ways that that match could have went. They're both happy. I don't think either of them feel particularly bad about that. It's just like, oh man,
they're both such nice people.
It's like, oh man, I totally could have had you there if I had Magical Christmas Land happening and all the right cards. I don't know.
I totally could have got you there if I had Toon World. And several monsters to attack directly.
You know, he could have got through that if he activated Back to the Wall, summoned 4 level 4 6 Samurais, turned them into number 39 Utopias, Chaos Exceed them into C39, detach all the materials, attack for 8,000.
You've been waiting to say that all weekend.
I have.
Yes.
I was hoping we'd see it. I don't believe it would have got through all of the spelling traps, but if it was his last card...
Now... something.
And he was playing Samurai. Would have probably been helpful as well for that to happen.
I will just say we have put a lot of challenges forward to the players out there over the weekend. Cat needs to be a thing. Math is now going to be a thing as well, which is Monarch Artifact Trap Trick Hands, or Ham, which is Hands.
I think that was my favourite one that was suggested. Just somebody going, I'm going to play Ham. It's just like, yes.
Constellas?
Yeah, the artifacts and trap tricks, very easy to take into a large number of decks, and they add a lot of different ways for your deck to deal with your opponent.
So yeah. So the next one, obviously, the next challenge out there is make a viable Toon World deck. I would love to see it in next year's Europeans, but only if you... bring a Millennium Eye with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He agrees, really.
I'd love to see Toons, but we'll see where we are next year. There's a lot of stuff going on between now and next year. Toons would be a surprise to me. I'm trying to avoid the word, and I see how you're trying to trap me into it. He's trying to trap me into this.
Matt is trying to avoid the word surprise all weekend. Because he's never surprised by anything. For those of you who didn't catch yesterday, during our original testing for the stream, I kept using this expression and I kept getting called out on it, so I'm trying to avoid it. Okay, we're starting to see the cards load in. I can tell you I can see a Solar Recharge, an Honest, a Curry Bandit, a Minerva, and a Eclipse Wyvern. There's one card there I can't quite make out what it is. On Nicolo's side, I see a... Spellbook of Secrets, a Trap Tricks, Nightmare Trap Hole, Spellbook of Power, Justice of the Prophecy, and Spellbook Tower. That's a lot better to have as your turn 1 trigger to Justice, because you need to play a Spellbook, and I'd rather that be a Spellbook Tower than a Spellbook of Wisdom, giving the information to my opponent that I might not have a lot to work with. Okay, so
turn 1 from Marcel going first is going to play Solar Recharge, discarding Minerva and sending 2 cards, neither of which are Lightsworn monsters. I believe Minerva is supposed to trigger there, and he should be sending another card to the graveyard. Yeah, he's just noticed. Okay, we've got a quick rules question coming up. While they resolve that, we can talk a little bit about the cards that are in Marcel's hand. He has a Mystical Space Typhoon, a Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn, Lila the Lightsworn Sorceress, Curry Bandit, Honest, and Eclipse Wyvern. He's got a lot to work with right there.
Definitely.
He could take any number of those plays into the game. We'll see what his preference is. Don't laugh, you can actually hear them laughing from here. Yeah, both of these players got really good hands to start off with. Raiden being summoned for Marcel. Sends the top 2 cards of his deck to the graveyard. Sends a Malevolent Catastrophe. He's seen a lot of... is that from the side deck? I'm looking at Necro's deck, that's why I can't actually see it. Sorry, I was just like, wait a second. Did he bring that in from the side deck, or is he actually main decking the Malevolent Catastrophes?
Oh no, it is in his side.
Yeah, he saw a lot of face down cards from Necro here, so he passes the turn over to Nicolo with just a Raiden. That's an interesting start. Let's see how Nicolo responds. Justice of the Prophecy is summoned. We had lots of monsters sent to the graveyard. And one of them is the Lightsworn, so the attack is a little bit higher on Raiden than it normally would, 1900. Honest.
Why?
Look at Nicolo. He's like, oh my god, I don't believe it. He is stunned by that. He's expecting nothing on the attack to Raiden, getting a search off, being able to then search for more spellbooks in the end phase with Justice, and he gets completely shut down running into that Honest. That's an awful thing to happen for him at the start of this game. Wow. Nicolo can't even believe it himself. Marcel drawing a card for his turn. It's a Mystical Space Typhoon. No, to finish Win Blasters he draws. He uses Raiden's effect. He does find another Lightsworn monster to go up to 1900 attack. Quick graveyard check. Okay, we're going to see a direct attack. And Lila the Lightsworn Sorceress is summoned. In case you're interested in what Nicolo is hiding. Yeah, he's going to use the effect of Lila to destroy the Traptrix trap hole. Lots of cards being sent to the graveyard. One of which is Eclipse Wyvern, which is going to allow him to banish a Judgment Dragon.
Tempest is also there.
And Tempest is also there to make the most out of the Eclipse Wyvern. 3 more cards are sent to the graveyard for Raiden. Play goes back to Nicolo. Okay. Nicolo... I believe that was a Mystical Space Typhoon being chained to the activation of the Grand Spellbook Tower, which will not only destroy the Grand Spellbook Tower, it will also prevent him from searching for an additional, well, being able to special summon an additional monster as it misses the timing. Well,
again, just that massive graveyard.
what would have been a really good start for Nicolo, shut down by a single Honest. It's the only one he's allowed to play, but still. Okay, we're seeing Justice of the Prophecy number 2. I believe that's Public of Secrets being played. Phoenix Wind Blast. Okay, it's almost a yeah, there's a handshake right there. He sees the weakness, takes him out. Marcel progressing into the finals with Lightsworn.
Lightsworn.